couple of matters before we get started. After hours yesterday, I was contacted by Judicial Security and notified that a witness who testified and had not been released from subpoena, and again, this is second or third hand, it's my understanding both parties have been made aware of this, was being interviewed by a news channel reporter in the hallway outside of the courtroom. When deputies were locking up, someone told them that this was going on. I don't think the deputies actually saw it, but it was reported to them.
And Judge, I spoke to the witness, and there was a discussion with the media, but nothing was talked about what was going on in the trial or testimony or anything like that. And I've spoken with the witness and asked them not to do that anymore before the trial's over.
This is the first I've heard of that, Your Honor. I want to know who the witness was.
The reason I didn't speak in specifics is this is all hearsay within hearsay within hearsay.
I understand.
It was reported that it was Eva Benefield gave an interview to a reporter from News Channel 8.
Give me a moment, Your Honor, please. I believe she's under state subpoena.
Yes.
And did the state request that she remain available under the subpoena?
Yes.
Okay. I think perhaps a hearing may be ordered.
All right.
And Judge, I don't know, the state would not be opposed to a hearing. I can represent that this particular witness did not speak about anything that was prohibited by the rule of sequestration. No one said to this witness, you're not allowed to talk to anybody about the case, just your testimony and the witnesses in this trial going on right now. So.
All right. All right. So on the Eva Benefield potential interview with someone at News Channel 8, you're not asking for any relief.
No.
I don't know what relief you're going to ask for, but if you're asking for some relief, I'll let you get started.
Well, the relief I would ask for initially is that she obviously be barred from being called as a witness potentially. Secondarily, to the extent the court admonished her about doing exactly that which she did, I've observed thus far the court's general admonishment that it gives to witnesses. I'm assuming Benefield received it as well. Is she in the courtroom, by the way? Ms. Benefield?
Here she is, yes.
Yeah, I'd like to have her step out.
All right, ma'am, if you please remove yourself from the courtroom.
This is a young girl who lost a father. I'm not looking to hurt her, but given her disregard of the court's admonition, I think precluding her from being called as a rebuttal witness at a minimum would be appropriate. Whether or not the court feels any further sanctions are appropriate as a result of her disregard of the court's warning, I defer to you, Your Honor.
Did you want to be heard at all?
Judge, I would just dispute that she violated exactly the court's order. And if she does testify, she will testify consistently with what she has already testified to in a deposition. So counsel will know if that changes, but we know what she's going to say because she said things already in the deposition. So I don't think any potential harm has come from it.
Rebuttal? All right. Whenever we talk about having a hearing, my assumption at the beginning of that was that it was going to be evidentiary and people were going to call witnesses and present evidence. Here's what the court knows. Someone told a court deputy that they observed Eva Benefield giving an interview to News Channel 8 reporter in the hallway outside of courtroom A after court had concluded for the day. At this point, I have no facts or evidence before me. I've got hearsay within hearsay as to something that happened.
All right, Judge.
Yeah, so I don't.
I'll call him.
Well, I gave you that opportunity. That's what I'm saying is that if everybody wanted a hearing, then
All right, well, I took it for granted that the court would,
I'm not going to assume this is true.
yeah. So, court likes, I'll be happy to call him and we'll have a brief hearing.
It's up to you. All right, can you call Miss Benefield back in? Come on in, ma'am.
You know, I thought you were talking to me.
Your Honor, do we know which deputy reported the matter?
No.
Or any of the deputies in the courtroom that saw the conversation late yesterday afternoon? Do we know which deputy it was?
As I said, it was reported to me that some unidentified person told the deputy.
Okay, so give me just one moment.
Are you the one that they told?
Yeah.
Okay, right here. Mr. Taylor.
Got it.
Apparently it was reported to Deputy Racky.
Can I have a moment with the deputy?
Of course, State, you want to be present? Ms. Benefield, I'll remind you that you are under oath. If you can scoot a little bit closer to that microphone and just answer the questions in a loud, clear voice.
Good morning, Ms. Benefield.
Good morning.
You appeared yesterday and testified before Judge White in this case, did you not?
I appeared on Tuesday and testified.
Tuesday. Time flies. At the end of your testimony, do you recall Judge White instructing you about having contact with anyone because you were to remain under subpoena? Do you recall that?
I recall.
Okay. And you are here today because the state requested that you remain as a potential rebuttal witness.
Correct.
Now, what did you think Judge White's directions to you meant?
Well, I was told I wasn't allowed to speak on any of the witnesses in my testimony while in the courtroom.
So, I'm sorry, did you finish?
I'm finished.
All right. Did you realize that when you decided to have a conversation with the reporter?
Yes, sir.
All right. Tell us, if you would. I'm just trying to get an explanation. Tell us, if you would, what you were thinking that.
Objection.
Overruled.
Ask her what she said.
What you were thinking that you felt allowed you to do exactly that which Judge White cautioned you not to.
I was caught off guard in the hallway when I was under extreme emotional distress after being here, hearing different testimonies about my father's murder. And when I spoke to the reporter, I made sure not to talk about any of the testimonies or anything that happened in the courtroom or my testimony.
What did you discuss with the reporter?
Just how I felt about the situation and who my dad's character was as I saw him.
When you say about the situation, you mean about the case, the trial?
Not about the trial.
What situation were you referring to?
My emotional state.
Okay. You post on social media,
I do.
TikTok?
Yes.
Any others?
No.
Following your testimony here last Tuesday, did you make any posts?
I did.
Tell us how many?
3.
3. And tell us one at a time. Were all 3 of them on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening?
1 was on Tuesday.
And when were the other 2?
Yesterday.
Okay. And tell us, as to the first post, what was it about?
I said that I testified.
Okay. And did you have anything to say about your testifying?
I talked about it being on live television,
What else?
that somebody back home was watching.
I assume you have copies on your phone?
I do.
You have your phone with you here today?
I do not. Not on me.
Where is it?
It's over in the benches.
In the bushes?
In the benches?
In the benches here in the courtroom?
Yes, sir.
With the court's permission, may she retrieve it so we can see exactly what it was that she posted?
Judge, I'm going to object if he knows clearly they have the post. So
Well, I don't know.
it's an invasion of her privacy to dig into her phone.
Not if it's on social media, but we started off talking about just speaking with some reporter, and now we're talking about a social media post. If you've seen it, and if she's violating the rules, let's just get it out.
Okay. I'm trying to find that out.
So now it's a fishing expedition. If you know a violation, let's talk about it. If not, let's just get moving. We got jury waiting.
I understand that, Judge. How do I know? She's told us she posted 3 things. How do I know what it's about? What if one of them involved discussions that were inappropriate? How am I to know that? I've been a little preoccupied, and I don't do social media.
Sir, if you have specific evidence, let's talk about it. If not, you have a team. You've got 1, 2, 3 people in court right behind you. I don't know. Maybe they can look it up. But let's focus on what we know about, as opposed to digging into speculation.
I have no further questions.
No questions.
Ms. Benefield, when you had this conversation with the reporter in the hallway, were there any other witnesses around?
Yes. I'm sorry. Let me re-answer that question. None that testified, I think.
Okay, so you're saying there were people standing around,
There were people
but
around.
none of the witnesses in this case?
No, sir. Not that I remember.
Did you talk specifically about the questions that were asked of you or the testimony you've given?
No, sir.
All right. Do you have any follow-up questions to my questions?
No, sir.
Do you have any follow-up questions to my questions? All right. Ms. Benefield, you can step back out. Did you want to call any other witnesses?
No, sir.
State?
No.
All right. All right, Ms. Benefield's out of the courtroom. Go ahead, sir. Do you have any argument? You want to seek any relief? You want to argue in support of any relief?
Yeah, I think she violated the court's admonition that the court routinely gives to the witnesses, and as a result, again, I have no personal interest in seeing the young woman suffer, but I do think violation of the court's admonition is sufficient to strike her as a potential rebuttal witness.
Judge, I think you asked her the relevant questions. I think the questions that you asked her are the admonitions that you gave her as a witness, and she did not break any of those.
Final thoughts? I am certainly distressed that, let me say first, the media policy for the 12th Circuit prohibits the media from conducting interviews inside of the courthouse. It is my understanding that our media and public relations person met this morning, or was going to meet this morning with the media to go over the administrative order again, because certainly I think the media is and should be aware of that administrative order and comply with it. The specific incident that we're talking about after hours yesterday, the facts that are in front of me are not that Ms. Benefield spoke about her testimony or the questions asked. But I also have not heard from the reporter, and I have not seen any tape or footage. At this point, I'm going to reserve on the request, and I'll make a decision. If and when she's called again, I'll make a decision at that point. You just have to remind me if we get there.
I'm satisfied, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, next.